And thanks for joining us tonight at 5. I'm Anne Marie alongside Scott, who's in for Felicia, who's off tonight. We start with some of the mixed reaction that's pouring in tonight to redistricting efforts at the Indiana State House.
So it's been more than 24 hours now since Indiana Governor Mike Braun announced he is calling a special session. Our State House reporter Emily Longnecker has been following up with state lawmakers today.
She joins us now live at the State House. And Emily, we're curious, any idea when they're going to be officially taking this up?
Well, Ann and Scott, we know according to that proclamation signed yesterday by the governor that the special session is set to convene November 3rd. That's next Monday, but it's really up to lawmakers to decide when they will gather. And so far, there is no word out of the House or the Senate when that will happen. And at last word, a spokesperson for Senate Republicans said that the votes just were not there yet in support of redistricting. I checked with that same spokesperson today, and she said at this point, nothing has changed. But now one Republican state senator is explaining why he's against redistricting in a new video. In a video posted to his official Facebook page, Republican State Senator Spencer Deary makes his case for why he can't support efforts to redraw the state's congressional districts.
Overwhelmingly, Republicans and Democrats, a majority of Republicans and a majority of Democrats contact me and said, don't do this. This isn't right. This isn't who we are.
Deary lays out his position, addressing some of the arguments being used to support redistricting, ultimately saying he believes going down this path is dangerous.
And it's not a clear or win that Republicans will win. You start changing the math, spreading Republican voters out, you're going to make other seats more competitive.
But for Deary, there's a much bigger issue to consider when it comes to redistricting mid-decade.
It just gives so much power to the map makers. If this becomes the culture that every 2 years, anytime you fear the results of an election, that to me just goes against the values of our country, values of the Constitution that I swore to uphold.
He's a friend and he's a good senator. I think he's wrong that we don't have the constitutional authority to do that.
Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith said while he doesn't agree with Deary, he respects his opinion.
So what I would say to Senator Deary is say, hey, this is about getting back what was stolen from us and reclaiming our rightful voice.
Beckwith said when it comes to hearing from Hoosiers, he's hearing the exact opposite of what Senator Deary is.
I'm hearing yes, yes, yes.
The lieutenant governor said when the time comes, he expects the Senate to have the votes in support of Indiana's redistricting efforts.
I think the president, the governor, and I are making the case, and I think we'll get there.
Should that not happen, Beckwith says those senators who vote against redistricting may find themselves facing an opponent in the primary if they run for office again.
That may be a case to say, okay, we got to get our house in order if this fails, and certainly I know the president's looking at that as well, and he may help us do that.
And 25 of Indiana's 50 senators are up for re-election in 2026. Senator Deary is one of those. Now, I just want to point out here, we're standing outside the Senate. It's really quiet here tonight at the State House. You can expect that to all change by Monday morning when voting rights advocates and protesters are expected to fill these halls to speak out against this redistricting effort. And Scott, we're going to send it back to you.
All right, Emily Longnecker kicking off for us tonight at 5 from the State House. Thank you so much. Here at 13 News, we are taking a closer look at the call for this special session and the debate surrounding it. We have a special episode of Crossroads Politics.
And you can watch it over on WTHR+. It's available right now. Developing tonight at 5 o'clock, federal charges have now been filed against a Connorsville photographer who's accused of using his business to access and photograph children who are nude.
Feds are charging 22-year-old Mikkel Shepard with 3 counts of sexual exploitation of a child and 1 count of possession of child pornography. Police tell us they believe there may be more victims and say if you have any information, you are urged to call the police in Connorsville.
Shepard will now be transferred from the county jail to a federal facility.
And we do have some breaking news tonight here at 5 o'clock. As Hurricane Melissa is making landfall right now in Jamaica.
This is a live look at Kingston Harbor. You can see the wind really whipping the waves and nearby trees with that hazy shoreline out in the distance. This is a massive Category 5 storm, the strongest one to hit anywhere during this hurricane season.
George Solis has a look at the torrential rain and the high winds in Kingston, Jamaica right now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we're not dealing with the brunt of the storm, but we are seeing those tropical force storm winds. Actually, right now, you might be able to see a bit of a strong gust, some rain that is pummeling the area here, and those winds starting to pick up. The story here, much like it is going to be for a lot of the island, is also this rainfall. Before Melissa made landfall, before the storm even approached, Jamaica was dealing with a lot of rain. So all of this compounded is obviously just going to make a bad situation even worse, really adding to those rain totals and really just putting those roads at risk. We're talking about those landslides and the flooding here that is already a problem all on its own. Now, the wind itself here in Kingston, we've seen it take down a number of palm trees. Some of those older structures that really haven't been up to new standards are starting to obviously see some wear and tear. You're seeing some siding rip off of buildings. That's why officials are saying even once this storm passes, don't take any chances. Don't go out until their assessments are made. A lot of people, of course, hunkering down for this storm. Some people in those low-lying communities may have chosen not to evacuate, but all the emergency shelters here were open. A lot of people taking those necessary precautions, and we should note that this storm, even before it touched down, has been fatal. 3 lives were lost while people were preparing for the storm, and about 13 or so were injured. That's according to Jamaican officials here, many hoping that that number, of course, does not increase as Melissa passes through the island, guys.
All right, thank you so much. Right now, people who live in Indiana are on vacation. They're in Jamaica right now, and they're taking cover as Melissa is hammering the coast.
Yeah, we just heard from Brian and his wife, Barbara, who sent us some video we want to show you from their hotel balcony on Montego Bay. They're from Indianapolis. They've been in Jamaica since Friday, celebrating their anniversary.
As you can see, strong winds and torrential rain pounding the area all day long. They padded their bathroom walls. They got the pillows and the mattresses from their room so they'd have a place to hunker down safely. Here's a picture of that. They also say that they did pack an emergency bag and that they have plenty of water to drink. But so scary and so not what they were planning for sure.
Right, and you've got some new information about the strength of this storm, right?
Yes, update from the National Hurricane Center at 5 o'clock. It's down to a Category 4, but still a major hurricane. Down in intensity because it's over land. Once it gets back over the water, may strengthen again, something we'll keep you updated on where it goes next as well. This is the latest on Hurricane Melissa, made landfall at around 1 o'clock this afternoon. As I mentioned, down to a 4, max winds still at 145. The latest track has this impacting the eastern sections of Cuba later tonight and during the day tomorrow, and then some of those Caribbean islands to the south and east of Nassau, and then eventually back over to the open waters, and it will continue to lose strength as we look ahead at the week ahead. Back closer to home, interesting 24-hour temperature change map. We're down 8 in Indianapolis, Greencastle, and Terre Haute, down 10 in Crawfordsville, all thanks to this thick cloud deck. We're stuck in the 50s. Where we have sunshine, we have 60s. 62 right now in Muncie, 60 in Portland. This evening, we'll stick with temperatures in the upper 50s and low 60s, at least for the next couple of hours. Sunset this evening is at 6:48. And then your Wednesday forecast. Talked about this yesterday, highlighting Wednesday and early Thursday. You'll need the umbrellas.
Thank you, Angela. A Lawrence Township principal is now resigning and is being investigated for an alleged sexual assault on a woman who worked in his office.
A Marion County judge granted the woman a protective order earlier this month against Victor Bush. She says that Bush sexually assaulted her in a hotel room in Covington, Kentucky in April during a celebration that several school personnel attended.
Police in Kentucky confirmed that they are investigating. Bush resigned this month as principal at Belzer Middle School. Rich Nye is interviewing the alleged victim right now. She told us she wants to share her story, and we will bring her comments to you here as our news continues on 13 News Tonight, ahead at 6 o'clock.
Tonight, IMPD believes a family disturbance led to a stabbing that left one man dead. This happened around 10:45 this morning in a house near 16th and Shadeland. Officers say they found a man in critical condition. Police tell us they detained a person who they believe is a family member of the victim just a few blocks from that house. That person also went to the hospital to get some injuries checked out. Detectives will now interview that person once they get out of the hospital.
Tonight, 2 Indianapolis families are without their homes after a fire spread between 3 houses. And the images are really impressive. You can see the flames that are shooting out of one of the houses. This was this morning on the near north side. It all went down on North Delaware near East 29th Street around 5:45 this morning. Firefighters now telling 13 News when they got there, they found the heaviest fire coming from a 2-story home. Now that one where the fire started, no one is living there, but there was someone in the process that was moving into it. The flames destroyed the house before then spreading to the houses on either side. And we did speak to college students who were forced out of their home by the fires, though home to the north and to the south were occupied. They told us that what alerted them to the situation was these sounds.
I woke up to loud cracking noises, which I assume is from that fire 2 houses down from where we stayed at. So
when you guys came out, what did you see?
The house was completely on fire, and then the house next door was also partially on fire.
2 families lived in the other 2 houses. They had pets as well. The good news here, they were all able to get out of their homes safely. There is significant damage to their homes. Nobody was hurt. And at this hour, investigators are working to determine what sparked the fire in the first place.